Welcome to another edition of Insurance Questions Podcast, number 105. Holy cow. In this episode, will Sassy Sarah make more sassy looks or more sassy words with her mouth?
Who
Will Donnie Lowe lose his mind when Eddie pulls an audible and doesn't talk about what Donnie thinks we're talking about? Glad you tuned in because you're going to find out. Just so you know, all the statements and comments by Eddie Buffalo, Sassy Sarah, and Donnie Lowe are purely for entertainment purposes. How's everybody doing today?
Doing great.
You look
I
nice
feel
today,
sick.
Sarah.
I
You look
feel
nice. What are you eating?
It's dinner from last night. We got Freebirds, and so it's really hard to eat out because I started a diet about a month ago, and this was the only place where I could go. Okay, I can't eat beans. I can't eat rice. I need double the meat. I need all the veggies you have. No cheese, no avocado, no sour cream.
Me
What
and
is
Donnie are kind of
Freebirds?
confused. What kind of food do they have at the Leonard Skinner restaurant you spoke of?
I know.
So Freebirds is a burrito place. Think of like Chipotle. Their big thing is they
Chipotle.
make burritos like this big. But they also have like salads and bowls if you don't want to like engorge yourself on a huge burrito. And they have the Freebird version, which is about twice the size of a normal size burrito. And then they have Monster, which is about 4 times the size. Because, Texas, everything is bigger and better,
Of
supposedly,
course.
including people, high cholesterol, weight, you name it.
Whoa. Are you saying Buffalo is too small for me? That's why I had to move to Texas? Is that a fat joke?
I mean, your ego and your head, I'm surprised fit in Buffalo. I'm just saying.
Wow. Do you hear that, Donnie? Hear that,
Wow.
Donnie? I think somebody's going to be getting muted really quick.
Oh, well,
Beep.
here's the question. So did I give more looks or am I sassy and more of my, the worst?
We'll find out. We'll have our viewers tell us that. And Donnie, instead of talking about what we were going to talk about today, I figured it would be a nice time to do Viewer Tuesday.
Okay.
So I went through some of the emails and comments we have, and I'm going to let them dictate how the show goes today. Sound good?
You have the wrong day though.
Why? This is Insurance Day. What did I say?
What did you say?
I don't know. I don't listen to this stuff.
Sarah, did he not say Viewer Tuesday?
He did say Tuesday. You
But
know
it's
he doesn't know his days. Come on,
I know.
now.
Today is
You're
You're the one
Wednesday.
trouble with the time traveling, Donnie. So
I
whatever.
know.
So
Whatever.
here's the question of how are you getting the viewers' responses? Are they sending it to you on TikTok? Are they emailing you?
Yeah.
Are they?
A lot of our questions are coming via TikTok. A lot of people are really interested, and the response has been fantastic for the reels we've been putting on TikTok and the little things we've been doing. Excuse me. So let's get started. I kind of chopped them up because we have people in their 20s, people in their 50s, and people in their 60s that have asked questions today. So I'm kind of going to ask you the questions so they kind of relate a little bit to each other. Are you ready, Donnie?
Let's go. But I do have another question for you. People
No,
in
you
their
can't ask it. You're not a viewer. You
Well,
can't ask it.
What?
You're out of luck today. You're not a
Oh
viewer.
my goodness.
You're not a viewer. So
Oh.
shutty, shut.
I'm
Donnie Lowe.
viewing you.
Yeah, you
I mean,
are. And you're
He is
so.
not wrong.
And it's from all different states, Donnie. What do you think about that?
That's pretty cool. But my question, I'm still going to ask it, is people in
It
their
doesn't seem I can stop you. Yes.
people in their 60s are on TikTok watching?
Yes. Are you on TikTok, Don?
I am
Are you on
signed up on
TikTok, Don?
TikTok. I am.
You are on TikTok. And how old are you? You answered your own question, buddy boy. You answered your own question, okay? So right here on the screen, you got the 40s, 50s, and 60s represented here. Yeah. And so Donnie's in the 60s, you do a lot of drugs. Is that why you act the way you do? It kind of would explain a lot.
The 60s were a tumultuous time.
I mean, LSD. I mean, were you a punk?
No, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Are we allowed to say
Lucy
that?
in the Sky with Diamonds. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, let's get started because we've
Let's
already
start.
lost.
Let's
She's
rock and
too
roll,
playing
baby.
Video games. She's playing video games. So Al, 23 from Tennessee, wants to know the difference between group and individual insurance.
Al, that's a great question. Thank you for asking.
Everybody do a shot. Not that we're condoning drinking, but everybody do a shot when we hear Donnie say his magical words.
I was wondering when you were going to say something. Oh, hold on. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow, bug Eddie on TikTok. I'm super glad you guys are asking questions. That way
Yes.
Eddie can let us know. And I just love him being bugged. So, that's
Y'all
what
doing some
we'll do, right?
TikToking.
Yeah, click the fan mail and download our podcasts or videos. So
Yes.
thank you.
Even if you're in your 60s, right, Don? Like you.
That's very true. Very true. So,
Yeah,
Al,
person,
there are differences between group life insurance and the other was just regular or term insurance. What did he ask? Term?
The question was difference between group and individual insurance.
Individual, that's right. So there are some differences. Individual, especially for somebody your age, Al, is something that and if you're healthy, you can probably get better rates for your insurance. Group insurance is something that you get through your employer, or, through your employer. And basically the rates are set on a couple different factors, the type of industry, the type of job. Typically a company will take a census to see what are the age ranges from all the employees. And then they'll set a certain flat fee for the rate of insurance. And that is something that you would have payroll deducted through your paycheck, whether it's weekly or bi-weekly. Individual.
Is that pre-tax dollars, Don?
Is that pre-tax dollars? No, it's not. It's not. And the reason why is with group whole life insurance, you can earn dividends and you build up cash value. And when you take the cash out of or borrow against your policy, so to speak, you do not have to pay any taxes on the funds that you get from your life insurance policy.
They got to take physicals, Don?
For group insurance, no. For individual insurance, typically, yes. It depends. Again, for most cases, and it's not a full physical. It's just typically some lab work, blood work, things of that nature.
Are they still doing urines, Don?
It depends on the amount of the insurance and the age of the applicant.
And to piggyback on Don, what's nice about the group insurance, most of those programs that if you have a spouse, they can get insurance. You have kids, they can get insurance. You have grandkids, they can get insurance. Right. By the way, I just want to give a shout out to Coach Jerry. Happy 77th birthday today.
Fantastic.
Hey, I've never guessed he was 77. So we got all ages on this show, Don.
That's amazing.
Ageism. Ageism. People in 60s really blah, 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 TikTok. So good first question. We're going to move on to Mike in New York.
Oh, great.
Michael is 68 years old, and his question is, and this is very interesting. Why is insurance so expensive for me at my age?
So that it goes back to premiums or the price
That's
that you pay.
That's a really good question, isn't it?
I was trying not to say it again, even though it was a very good question.
Don't count if I say it, folks.
Thank you. Premiums are determined and factored based on pretty much 3 different criteria: age, health, and gender. And because, as we get older, the time frame or length of time for us to live is much shorter than if we were to get insurance when we were younger. So a 68-year-old male, Life expectancy is probably about 85 years old.
And you don't know if he's a smoker or non-smoker either.
Yeah, a lot of different variables, a lot of different
Hmm.
factors. So, as you know, because the amount of time that you're paying into that policy is much shorter than if you started in your 20s or
Plus, you're
30s.
going to pay through the nose at that age.
Yeah, well, I don't want to say through the nose because we can still get some good premiums,
I
relative to.
understand that, but it's going to be a lot more expensive than
Oh,
when
it
you're in your
is.
20s, 30s, or 40s. That's what I guess what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Mhm.
it's age and probably Al condition of health, or that was Michael, right?
Michael, yes, Michael
Yeah.
from New York. Okay, that's really good, Don. I'm going to move on to where I am right now, Texas. Rebecca, 50 years old. Um, Good question. Is it true that some companies will not turn down applicants no matter what their medical history is?
Well, I know that you might hear that on advertisements on radio or TV or sometimes even print. Um, there are some companies that will not turn down. However,
It's going to be
the
expensive.
it's I would say the death benefit coverage is typically lower, maybe five
Hey, Don,
thousand
Don,
dollars.
Don, I think Sarah's changing her laundry.
Ah, you might be right.
That's what she's doing. She's trying to be like me.
Yeah, I know. Well, she's back.
He fell asleep and he was breathing heavily to where I was afraid everyone could hear him. And so I woke him up because he has to get back to schoolwork.
All right, Don, I'm sorry. I had to do it. I
Hey,
had to
put
do
the
it.
books and read.
that's
You're not
Go
that's
ahead, Don.
fine.
Go ahead.
That's fine. So anyway,
He's
so
still catching
Rebecca
up on his sleep from all the camps he was at all of June. So
is catching up now.
yeah.
So Rebecca, yeah, some companies do offer that, but the death benefit coverage is usually on the lower side, maybe $5,000, maybe up to $10,000, and the premiums are much higher
Hmm.
without going through that. So, you have to
So,
really assess your own situation.
looking back on Michael's question, if they're offering it at her work, she's not going to have to take a physical, probably.
Correct, and that was Al's
9 times
question.
out of 10. So
Yeah,
that was really good. That was
yeah,
good. That was a good one, Don. Last one. We have Catherine from Maine. Oh, they're all over the place today.
it's great.
She's a baby, 21 years old.
Okay,
Don't be offended if I said that. I got kids that age, okay? So back off. All right, viewership. Catherine from Maine wants to know. Oh, this is kind of something that's dear to us, Don. Why will insurance premium go up when I don't have a life-threatening disease but have other medical problems?
when the insurance companies determine what the premium is, they again they're looking at longevity of life.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have some conditions where potentially can shorten your lifespan, the actuaries, that's who determines what the pricing will be.
Dude, I didn't even know what an actuary was until I got into the insurance business. They're very smart, strange people. All the actuaries out there, you are. So I'm not even lying,
That's
okay?
true. And there are actuaries not only in insurance, life insurance industry, but other industries as well too.
Mm-hmm. Oh my
So
God, yeah, yeah.
yeah, but so they kind of look at statistically what your lifespan would be, and that if the probability increases that a death benefit payment would be paid sooner, your premiums are going to be higher on
Mhm.
average. So
And piggybacking on that, Don, um, I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask you anyways. Uh,
it's going to stump me.
no, it's not a stumping. Like we're going back to like employee health. Excuse me, employee insurance, as opposed to individual insurance.
Hmm.
How far back do they look on the meds these people are putting in their bodies when they're doing interview about their insurance?
Well, if it's what
You
we
know where
refer
I'm
to as
going.
group insurance,
Hmm.
they typically they'll only ask a very few questions about medications and health
I
history.
guess I guess I'm talking about the med check, Don, where they're going back 10 years to see
Oh,
everything that's
okay.
being put in somebody's body.
Yeah. So what they do is all the insurance companies go to this central bureau of information, pretty much, and they look at your medication history. They look at are there any public records like DWIs or DUIs. They'll do a personal history and a medical history background check.
I'm
Pretty much.
more interested in seeing what kind of substance they're putting into their bodies and how many years that is. It's 10 years.
Yeah, pretty much.
If
It is
you had
10
a
years.
prescription refilled, it's gonna pop up. Now,
Oh
I have
yeah.
a question for the two of you. As I mean, in New York, marijuana is legal. Texas, it is not. Right over the border in Oklahoma, it is. So I'm wondering, and you might not know this answer, Don, and we might have to do some research on it. But if you're ingesting pure THC and your state it's not legal, most places are dinging you as a smoker, not as a marijuana user. My question is, do they still ding you if you have a marijuana card and you're taking medicinal THC via either a tincture, a lollipop, or any other ways of, however they're getting this into your body? Do
So
you know this? Because I'm not really sure on it. It's something I'd have to look up, actually.
it hasn't changed that I'm aware of. So
Hmm.
they will ask, do you utilize any type of nicotine or do you smoke?
Hmm.
Vape, cigars, cigarettes, or inhale anything else. If you're doing it with
I mean,
tincture or
I mean,
gummies,
are you still going to hookah bar, Don?
are they still around?
In Texas, there are right in McKinney Square where my office was. There's
Oh,
one
that's
right down the
wild.
street, and
That's
they were
wild.
always packed. But it smelled more like cigars to me. I'm not a
Oh,
smoker,
really?
so I
So
never
that's
have been,
funny.
so I wouldn't even know.
So
But
you could,
that's really interesting.
yeah. So if you're taking, for medicinal purposes, but you're not actually smoking, I think, again, my own opinion and view, I believe you'll be okay. But you know, we'll look at it on a case by case basis, and so that is something that I would call into the underwriting team when an individual approaches me with that question.
Hmm.
And I don't give names or anything like that. It's just, here's a question, talking with somebody.
Yeah.
This is what they're on. Is this an issue? That's the
Well,
best way to
since
handle
you're
it.
a viewer,
Well,
do you
and
have another question, Don?
something
Oh, go
to
ahead.
keep in mind though is even if it's legal, you can still be drug tested for work and be either denied the job opportunity or fired because you are testing positive for smoking marijuana.
I did not know
Um,
that.
the
That's
rules are a little bit different depending on the state, but it it still matters. So, for example, forklift operators or truck drivers, it doesn't matter if the state's legal or not. If you get into an accident and you test positive, there are going to be ramifications because basically you're under the influence and you're using heavy machinery.
right.
Um,
And
so,
especially like with truck drivers, as an example, because marijuana is not legal on the federal level.
I would really like to get a nurse on here or a doctor to talk about it because I was under the impression that the tincture or the lollipops or that isn't going to get you high. It's going to give you all the other things that THC does for you, but it won't get you that marijuana high. I could
Well,
be wrong, but that's how it
it
used to be.
depends. So, for me personally, I grew up with people who smoked it all the time, were addicts. I've seen people actually be addicted to marijuana, even though they say that's not possible. I've seen
right.
it. Um, and it's a bad situation. The other situation that I've seen is how, yes, it does help, even in THC, how it helps certain people get better with pain. It's supposedly great for people going through chemotherapy to make sure that they're eating. I understand it has a lot of good healthy benefits. I've seen the damage it does to the brain, to the body. And me personally, if I try to use products with THC for it, I'll use this example. I was at a farmer's market. Somebody was selling products, a lotion with it in there. And she put it on my hand even after I said I didn't want it. I felt sick for like 4 hours after.
Wow. Because it had THC in it.
It doesn't with me. And there's other people like that. So I think it's more of a buzzword, like organic or natural or anything else, instead of people actually using it for the benefits. And then you have the other people who just want to abuse it and just get high because they don't want to deal with their issues. Again, something I've dealt with people in my past who are actually addicted to the substance.
Sure. And I guess
let me ask you guys this. So it's shown in studies that THC is not addictive. You cannot, I shouldn't say addictive, you cannot overdose on THC.
Correct.
So let me ask you, do you feel that you're addicted to the THC, or are you addicted to the euphoria and the way you feel on the THC product?
I will use it as the same.
It's just a personal question. I'm just
someone who is an alcoholic, even after drinking, will have symptoms of them drinking for years after, and it changes the brain chemistry. I think depending on marijuana use, whether it's whatever the case may be, it's being built up in the body. It's changing the body chemistry depending on how heavy the usage is and how frequent the usage is. And that's something that's not being looked at. I'll say it that way.
No, I believe like for CBD oil or gummies, it is available without the THC, right?
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was CBD, not THC.
That's a big difference.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
To me, it's still the same thing. It's all buzzwords, and it does have benefits for people. I've studied medicinal herbs and stuff back in my 20s when I like to say I'm a hippie without being a hippie, because I like showering and I don't do drugs and I don't sleep with anybody. You know what I mean? That was always my thing growing up, is I was a hippie without being a hippie. I liked everything from scratch. I loved using medicinal medicines over prescriptions if possible. But I did go to the doctor if needed, because I know that's good medicine too.
Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Words beat looks today for Sassy Sarah's. Sassy is 100%. Yeah. And once again, the comments by Sassy Sarah especially are only for entertainment purposes, all right? Because that was like, they all smell and everything like that. Let me tell you what. I almost wasn't doing that.
Stereotype from the 60s. I met hippies when I was growing up. Like, there's that stereotype for a reason. And I'm all for you live your life. I don't care. Just don't hurt animals, don't hurt kids. I don't care what you do.
The best was I was born in '67, so my kids, they're learning about the '60s and hippies and that the whole movement and everything. They're like, "Did you do drugs in the '60s?" Oh, when I was a toddler. Oh, here comes little Eddie. He's high as. Oh, no, Tyler went back to work again. That was the $10 word today, folks.
There's Eddie. He's drinking that chocolate milk again.
Oh, he's got the munchies. Little Eddie's got the munchies. Hey, he was Pac-Man before Pac-Man was around.
It's funny. I had the opportunity to go to visit San Francisco. This is in the late 90s, I think. 97, 98, something like that.
That's what happened to you, isn't it, Donnie?
Well, no, but if you ever
kind of explains a lot right now. Let me tell you what.
I know. So the Summer of Love in 1967, right? The Summer of Love, the famous or infamous Summer of Love, and Ashbury Height in a certain part of San Francisco is where all of that started.
They all hung out.
Took place, yeah. And whatever year it was, let's say 1997 or 98, when I was there, it was like a throwback. You thought you were in the '60s again. It was so crazy.
That's interesting.
Tie-dye shirts, people walking around, people smoking pot and whatever. I mean,
I
hookers.
hesitated and just had to go pot.
He was making an assumption it wasn't hash or something else like
Well,
that.
who knows?
Donnie can tell the difference.
Oh man, who knows? But yeah, it was just wild. It's like you really, literally step back at that time, 30 years, and it's like, wow, it's crazy. I can only imagine what it's like today. I mean,
I never thought that Viewer Tuesday was going to turn into Cheech and Chong. All right.
Yeah, especially it's Wednesday again. You forgot.
So I like this. I don't know how you guys feel. I think it's great that we're answering the viewers' questions because we know
That's
they're paying
perfect.
attention too.
That's great.
And I gotta be honest, guys. I mean, we know we've been doing this for so long now. It's like I'll call Donnie, or he usually asks me first, "What's the show gonna be about?" He doesn't sound like that, but I like making voices. Like Sassy Sarah. Well, I'm going to tell you what, Eddie's got a big ego. Yeah, let me tell you, this big head. Why is him?
My goodness.
They've said I've had a big head since I've been a little kid. I can't control that, Sarah.
I don't ask you what's the show going to be about.
Hairs coming down my big head.
No, it just allows me to keep saying "bless your heart" and "sir," so it's fine.
Sir. But I think we're going to do this once a month, Donnie. What do you think? You feeling it?
I think that's great, but I don't call you and ask you what's the show going to be about. What do you
say, Don? So you say, Mr. Bednars, can you please tell me what I can allowed to say today? Isn't that what you say, Don?
No.
Oh, whatever.
I just ask you,
who's Mr.
What would
Bednars?
you like to discuss on today's show? Do I not?
I'm like, I don't know, whatever you want. Whatever you want, Don. I usually throw it right back at you.
I don't. Then I'll say, how about this? All right. And then we get on the show.
Today, I stomped down what you wanted to talk about.
Yes. So, Eddie, what I think Donnie's saying is he asks you if there's certain things that you want to talk about so he can be prepared. And then you're like, no, whatever you want. And then you hijack it anyways to talk about what you want. So,
Yes.
So, but because Don, I got to keep Donnie on his toes. He's getting up there in age. So we got to keep that mind sharp. He doesn't want to do the Sudoku, so I got to help him out one way or another. He's my brother from another mother. Okay.
It's pretty awesome. I love that game.
He is a hippie. Sarah, does he smell because he's a hippie?
I don't know. We've never met in person, and this isn't smell-o-vision. So,
I want to say,
let us know if you would like to experience us in smell-o-vision.
Oh my God! So you talk about me keeping my mind sharp. 2 weeks in a row. It's not me messing up the days.
Excuse me, Don. Look whose hobby's being snobby. I forgot you were from Williamsville, Amherst area. Excuse me, Mr. Lofaso. Yeah, that's his real name, folks. Look him up.
I'm from North Buffalo.
Let me get his address out of it. I'm going to post his address so you can stop by. He's looking for people to visit him.
Sarah's got my back. Thank you.
He's getting carpal tunnel from polishing all those gold bars. And he's looking for techniques that'll make it easier to do, or he can help, In fact, he'll even sign, if you want to send your kids, he can show them how to do the gold bars, and they can get service hours, which is always important in the community. That's right.
There's a story about something one-off similar to that about Frank Lloyd Wright. Do we want to talk about that or not?
I have no idea who that is, Don. We're not all from Buffalo, Don.
Wait a minute. Sarah, do you know, without looking it up, Sarah, do you know who
she already looked it up. Look at her eyeballs.
She's talking away. Oh, my God.
Sassy Sarah. They call me Sassy Google Sarah.
Let me guess. He was born in 1867 in an American...
Wow, she's a good guesser.
Wow.
Oh, my God. And you guys yell at me for hijacking it. Look at Sarah's face. Look, she's still reading. Stop reading. Stop it. Stop with those shifty eyes. Another one for the looks. The sassy looks. Let me write that down. Okay.
Okay, do you know how excited? Hold on. Do you know how excited I am? I'm homeschooling my son. I made the curriculum, covered it with him, told him how we're going to do all these fun things. And the dork that my son is, I love it. He's like, Monday through Friday, he has a different subject each day, right? And then Saturday, he's like, can Saturday be my engineering day? He just wants me to buy him like car models for him to make. So
I
he
love
can
making
learn
models.
engineering. And then I told him he can learn about cars and how machinery works. And he wants to turn one of his cars into like a robot car. And I'm like, you're such my child.
Now, Don, did you put those kids together? The model car kits?
Models and that, of course.
Yeah. Oh, so you sniffed the glue. That once again, that makes sense.
You know?
Donnie's a glow sniffer.
You
He's a
should
glow
know you
sniffer.
went somewhere with that question.
I know. So Ed, are you serious? You never heard of Frank Lloyd Wright?
Of course I did, but she always hollers at us when we talk about Buffalo stuff.
Well, no, it's not Buffalo.
Sexy Sarah.
No,
right.
it's sports because I don't listen to sports. I grew up with sports. I don't care about sports. It is
All right. I'm going back to Frank Lloyd Wright real quick.
Sure.
Because
He was 91 when he passed away, FYI.
Excuse
Thank
you?
you.
What did you just say?
He was 91 when he passed away. He passed away April 9th.
That is not what I thought you said. Hey, just beat that whole thing.
So he was a world famous architect. All right. And he did build houses in Buffalo. He built a production or office for a big company in Buffalo. He has a lot of homes that he designed in
The one by
Chicago
the zoo.
area. He's from, I believe, Wisconsin. He has a lot of homes there.
So he
So-
liked the cheese.
He wanted to build this studio in Scottsdale, Arizona. So he purchased
Okay.
the land. And what he did to build the studio was he got interns for his school to learn about architecture, and they were working on a live project, which was basically to build his studio, so he didn't have to pay labor to build the studio.
That
That is
sneaky
awesome.
bastard.
He
That
actually,
sneaky
I like
bastard.
some of his stuff that he built. It looks really cool.
It really is cool. Taliesin West is the name of the studio in
That's really
Scottsdale,
interesting.
Arizona. I'm
Well,
done.
they even recreated his gas station at the car museum downtown. I
Yeah,
forget
they
the name
did
of the
downtown
car museum.
Buffalo. Yep.
And what's really cool about that place is that they change things out. So a lot of times you'll see something you didn't see the first time. Like I didn't. Did you know where Playboy came from, Sarah? The name Playboy.
No,
Let me answer this. It was actually a car before it was a magazine.
of course it was. I'm sharing my video for the people who are watching us by video, or if you're not, go to YouTube. I just wanted to show you this house. But if you go on Google, you can actually look at some of his designs, which
Wait,
is really, really cool.
Sarah, they're not seeing it because I have to add that to the studio.
Well,
Hang on.
add it in.
Oh,
There you
here
go.
it goes. Oh, okay.
So, like, that's super cool. And
Which
then
one is that?
That one was, I think it said outside the Mayer house or Meyer
Oh, okay.
house. And then here are a few others. So
Go
I mean,
to the Darwin Martin house.
Isn't that it right there to the right, Don?
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, Donnie, do you know a little bit about when they redid that house?
Yes. A little bit.
All the contractors lost their butt.
Oh, really?
Because they bidded on it, and things had to be such done in precise things that you couldn't save money. You had, they ended up losing money. If anything, it was more prestigious of them for doing it. You know,
Hold on. Look, it's a hideaway library. You just close it. And then it looks nice and clean. And then you open it up and there's books inside.
So
Isn't
let me
that
ask
cool?
you this: if you went into that hideaway library, would we not be able to hear your sassiness?
Oh, it's like
I-
walking into Narnia.
So I'm the type of nerd. I always wanted the house with the library, like the biggest house where one room could be the library,
Library.
without going the ladder, and I wanted it filled with books. So if I ever walked in, I get excited walking into libraries too and bookstores. Yeah.
Type one more in there, Sarah. Falling River.
Where's that at, Don?
It's in Pennsylvania. I don't
Where
remember
is
the
that?
town. It's in Pennsylvania, but I don't remember the town name.
Oh,
That's
this is
cool.
a picture.
So he built that house
There we
over
go.
Wow, that's
basically
crazy.
a stream.
It's beautiful.
That is so cool.
Very neat.
Huh. Yeah, so find us on YouTube and you can see these pictures. These are really awesome pictures.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
Or Google it yourself because Donnie said it out loud. It's either or. But if you go to YouTube, like, share, subscribe, and follow and download and do all the things.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think this has been an interesting show. We got a lot of good information in. We took a hard left like we always do and talked about something that has nothing to do with insurance, which it's okay too.
It's okay.
Yes, that's okay too. And we're closing in on Sarah's magical time. So, anything else you want to talk about so we can make it to your magical time, Sarah?
Magical time. Not really. Be careful because everybody's getting sick.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. There was a networking meeting this morning I was going to try to go to, and then I didn't wake up in time. And then a person who was going to speak, they're just under the weather. And so a lot of other people couldn't make it because they're under the weather. So
I did hear COVID cases are ticking up a little bit, at least in New York. I don't know how severe the cases are or anything, but.
No, and my son was sick coming back from camp. So I already knew I was going to end up getting sick eventually because I don't keep distance for my kids. I give them lots of hugs and stuff.
That's the way it should be.
Right. And then he was gone for almost an entire month. So he got extra love for me. And I knew I was going to get sick. I just hope I don't get that sick.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Eddie's looking at his phone or something.
I had somebody watch me while I was doing some editing, and they're like, "You really weren't paying attention, were you?"
He never does. Never.
It's kind of like when Sarah, we know we lost her when she's on the screen doing God only knows what.
You know what? I can sometimes multitask, but I think it's more punishment because I'll have a conversation with you and you're like, yeah, sure. Yep, that sounds great. And then all of a sudden, well, hey, this, and this. And it's like, dude, we just talked about it. Whatever.
Okay, that's enough.
That's what he was looking for.
That's all I was doing. And so we're going to end the show like we always do. And we're going to be right on Sarah's timeline. If you like working people that are just like you, I think we're for the everyman, to be honest with you, and woman. If you have a question, don't be afraid to ask. Thank you so much for asking the questions today. I mean, you guys made the show today.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here for. Let us be your tools to understand things that you don't understand in the insurance and tax world. So for your buddy Donnie Lowe and Sassy Sarah, I'm your buddy Eddie Buffalo. Tune in tomorrow. We're going to be talking about annuities and maybe Bitcoin because I think that's turning into like the annuity and Bitcoin day, Don, don't you?
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. Because, so many things are changing so fast. And I hope we don't have to have an emergency podcast today. This week. It's just how it's been happening. But once again, thank you for tuning in. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Where's
Ciao.
the button, Don? Where's
I
the
moved
button?
it again.
You son of a gun, yeah. You didn't do your chow. Do your chow.
I did. You missed it. I said
Yeah,
ciao.
I'm too busy talking. Bye, everyone. everyone.
I'm gonna say my name's Donnie Lowe.
He's waiting for the 40 minutes on the
I'm
dot.
waiting. Bye.